everyone, and welcome to the General Hospital recap for July 17th. Catching up and have a few more to do. I'm pretty much caught up, as far as being me goes. But if you haven't been watching the upload spree, I'll give you the abridged version. Heatwave, miserable, couldn't film, now it's cool. Filming and I think the heat's breaking for the most part. Whew, and I'm on a Pokemon high too because I've been doing a lot of Pokemon Go because of legendaries. But in any event, if you want to see that, I'm thinking of doing Pokemon videos, but I'm not sure, so we'll see. In any event, that's not what this is about. This is a recap for the 17th, so let's get to it because that's what you want to see. And my beautiful headband, so that's why everyone tunes in. I know these things. So now for General Hospital at Ava's room. Felix wants to take Ava out for a walk in the wheelchair because she's headed out of the hospital. She's being discharged. Griffin comes in and Ava doesn't want to go. She does not want to be out of this hospital. She's being released today, but she doesn't feel ready. She won't leave. She won't go on the street in her bandages making children cry. And I'm like, okay, drama. She wants to stay locked up. She's going to have... She's going to have to go, and it'll be a hard transition, but she'll make it. She gets up and tries to do something, but she can't. I think she was going to... I don't know what she's going to do. She looked like she was going to turn a machine off, but I don't think at that point a machine turning off was going to do anything. I don't know. At General Hospital, Jason came with Sam to the hospital, and then he figures they can spend time together afterwards and relax because he's just so nice. Elizabeth comes over to Sam and Jason and asks Sam if she'd like her to slip her in for her follow-up tests. And Jason's like, tests? Follow-up? Tests? What? So Sam gives Elizabeth a hard time about illegally sharing medical information with the intent of starting an argument between her and Jason. Elizabeth's like, I'm sorry, I just assumed Jason knew. And Sam's like, yeah, that's a problem. Like, this was private information. And Elizabeth, she's really giving her time. Elizabeth winds up walking off, and Sam starts going on about filing a complaint with the medical board. And Jason's like, can we slow down a second here? Tests? So he wants to know why she said she was in the all clear when she had to have tests run. And she says she didn't lie. Something came up and the appointment got canceled. And she wanted to see how she reacted to rest and vitamins before she got any more tests run. Sunny tells Sam she needs to find a way to get out of the exam or it won't end well for her. And Sunny is saying that they'll lock her up and then he'll be free to hurt her family. Griffin comes to take Sam to the exam. He wants to run some neuroscans too. He says it's just a precaution, but she's hesitant and they head off. Curtis at the hospital. Curtis is with Stella. Jordan calls to check up on her. She's keeping her distance. Felix is entertaining Stella with his stories, and he brings up these gorgeous flowers. They're from TJ. She mentioned she used to get bouquets. I almost said boutiques. Yeah, someone used to buy her boutiques. That's not romantic. That's running a business. Anyway, used to get bouquets from someone special to her, and Curtis overhears that and is like, special? So he comes in and asks about this special someone. She says it was a long time ago. His name was Marcus. They were engaged. They met in college, and it ended because of Curtis, apparently. Look, my cup. It looks like a mason jar. I got it at Walmart for like $6 because it was on sale. It says, simple homemade goodness. So I think you're supposed to use this for lemonade. This is water with ice, which I made in my new ice machine. Not so new anymore. It was the first time we've ever had drinkable ice. In any event, you're not here for the ice show. You're here for the gun show. I'm just kidding. Okay, so Stella, her sister, got sick, and she moved back to help with the boys. Marcus didn't come with because he had a job offer in San Francisco, and long distance wasn't a viable option for them back then. So she chose her family over herself. She doesn't regret any of her choices, and she wouldn't change a thing. Curtis's phone rings. He'll get it later. Stella will try to make peace with Jordan. At Sunny's place, Carly wants them to put on their rings again. He comes downstairs with his ring. She's surprised he still has it because she was like, they were going to get new rings if he did it. They promise to focus on the good and not the bad, do the best they can for the kids, and they put their rings back on. So he tells her about the case being dropped. Ava is getting away with it. Needless to say, it goes over just as well as you think. She wants them to do justice themselves if the courts won't. Rude airplane. He's the voice of reason here. I know. There's an airport like yonder that way, and we're like right in the path. It's actually pretty cool at night if there's a backup at the planes. You can see like the line of planes waiting and like circling. But in any event, you're not here for the plane show. You're here for the gun show. Okay. Repeat jokes are only funny when Bo Burnham does them. So he thinks about Avery. she's gonna have to deal with enough. The only way, she's gonna have to deal with enough when it comes to who her mother is. She doesn't need to be like, oh, and the people who raised you also murdered her. So the only way to beat Ava is to purge her from their thoughts. Don't spend another ounce of brain capacity on her, which I feel that strategy. Working on it now with someone. So Carly wants to visit Morgan's grave before making a decision. At the PCPD, Andre and Anna run into each other. She tells him about Valentine's release. Jordan sees Anna and Andre talking. She comes up to them as they're about to separate. So Andre heads back to the hospital. Jordan asks Anna, what's going on? What's going on here? So Jordan gives her blessing if Anna wants to pursue something with Andre. And then Jordan tells Anna about Stella and the stroke. And Jordan feels responsibility for Stella's strokes. Anna doesn't want Jordan to poison her future because of her past. They're going to be friends again. I miss best friends. Things got tense there for a bit and they hug. So back at Ava's room, Andre comes to talk to Ava. He wants to treat her as part of her outpatient program. She thinks it'd be a conflict of interest because he treated Morgan. And I'm like, I don't often agree with Ava, but when I do, it's about Morgan. No, it's usually not. That's not true. It's about this specific thing at this one specific time. How does she live with what she's done? I don't know. Seems like you're living with it pretty well. He asks if she's experiencing suicidal thoughts. She says no. She just doesn't belong in the world anymore. Andre gives Ava his card. Felix is going to wheel her out of there. And we see a little under the bandages, and it's very red and not very good. At the park, Laura is dropping off Spencer and Charlotte. Valentine is lurking behind a tree, because that's where all Cassidines do. They lurk behind trees. No Cassidines. Spencer is lamenting how they almost did Cats, and he's glad they're not. Excuse you, by the way, guess who got tickets to Cats for later in the year? The only reason I did is because it's the first Broadway play I saw when I was 4, and I have one memory of it because I was 4 and also exhausted and heading to sleep. So it's gonna be 21 years later and I'm gonna see Cats, and I'm so excited. But this isn't about Cats. This is about how me and Spencer Kiss and I do not agree about Cats. How would kids do Cats anyway? Cats is anyway. that is not what we're focused on. So Valentine makes himself known, and Charlotte is happy to see him, and she's the only one who's happy to see him. The kids head off to camp. Laura and Valentine are left alone. Valentine already petitioned the court for the custody to go back in his favor. Seems like Valentine is going to argue Nicholas could still be alive since his body was never recovered. What, do you live on a soap opera or something? Huh? Charlotte thinks Spencer was mean to her father. She doesn't know. She doesn't know. And I just feel she doesn't know. And he didn't do anything to him. And Spencer's what do you mean? He killed my father. This is news to her. So Spencer says that's why her mother hates her father so much, because he killed her brother. And Charlotte refuses to believe him and then comes running over to Valentine and Laura, super upset. Spencer said he killed his father. And Valentine looks at Spencer the daggers. If looks could kill. I don't blame the kid, because he did, and I'm surprised he kept it from her this long. It's Spencer we're talking about. He should get an award for this, because it's been he's seen Charlotte, I don't know, more than once, so I'm surprised that she didn't find out the first time. So Laura tries to get Charlotte back to camp. Spencer wants Valentine to admit it, and Valentine's it's complicated. And when it comes to did you murder this person, it's complicated usually isn't the right answer. So Valentine says something to Charlotte in French. At this point I was I should have paid more attention. I took 4 years of French and I do ma petite. I'm I know what that means. If only I knew. So Valentine is staring daggers at Spencer. He hurt Charlotte so he could, hurt him. And I'm okay, not everything's about you, dude. Valentine blames Laura for Spencer saying what he said and that they weaponized him. If there's one thing I cannot stand more than anything, it's adults who are do not fathom that kids have brains of their own and make their own decisions. It just... I know, it's just a thing. I can't, it sits right here. I hold a lot of things right here, and that's one of the things. So he calls Spencer something extremely inappropriate for an adult to call a child and storms off furiously. And now end scene. Curtis answers the phone on Stella's insistence. Jordan asks if he wants to have dinner tonight, and he thinks it's a good idea. Carly and Sonny are at Morgan's grave. They wish they could have protected him, and the pain got the best of them the last few months. You know, they hurt and they lashed out. He tells him he's leaving the business. He loves him. They miss him every minute of every day of every second, and they want to make him proud. Ava also approaches the grave, but like she stays behind. And I was like, if you had 1 ounce of sense, you would turn around before they saw you and go back. But she doesn't. The tests are done for Sam. Results will be in 2 to 3 days, so like at the end of August. Sam is super worried, and Sonny tells her that she has to eliminate him now before they lock her up. Spencer says he didn't mean to upset Charlotte. He just told the truth. He takes a moment to gather his thoughts before rehearsal, and someone puts a black fabric bag over his head and grabs him. Nope. Not my Spencer. Not my Spencer. Thank you so much for watching today's recap for the 17th. 17th? Yeah, 17th. Okay. Working hard here. I will see you in 2 seconds for more Drama Hospital, and I hope you have a great day. Okay.